Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we got a special guest that's going to be joining us. Shout out to everyone that takes the time to watch this show. I appreciate you taking the time. We got some big things to talk about. Let's bring the guest on. Mr. Ori Spado. How you doing, Ori?
How you doing, Bill? Caught me here. I'm sitting in my recliner, relaxing, talking to you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it.
What
So
are we gonna do tonight?
Today is the anniversary, people don't know, of Michael Franzese cooperating. The exact date. So here, I'll read it real quick. On this day in the Mafia, December 27, 1991, former Colombo capo Michael Franzese was sentenced to 4 years in federal prison for a parole violation after being accused of tax fraud in California. Originally sentenced to 10 years on a racketeering conviction, Franzese was released after serving only 3 years. Now, why was he released after only serving 3 years? Because he cooperated. It is believed that he was granted parole after testifying in the trial of former business partner Norby Walters. Franzese has always denied being a rat because nobody ever went to jail because of anything I said. However, the fact is that Norby Walters was convicted of racketeering based on Franzise's testimony, but the conviction was overturned on appeal due to a technicality for a time. Law enforcement did consider him to be a cooperating government witness. You be the judge. Now, what do you think of that, Ori?
I think it says it all. You know,
Pretty much.
I knew Norby Walters. I did not know Norby back in those days. How I met Norby was when the case was over and he came to Los Angeles. It was at a big party that I went with my friend Francesca over in Westwood in a high-rise building on the penthouse. And that's where me and Norby first began to talk. And Norby asked me if I would meet him for lunch. And we met up on Sunset Plaza and had lunch. And I found Norby to be an awesome individual, very smart. And he told me the whole story. And it is exactly what they say there. He told me, he says, Ori, he says, you can send all my love and respect to Sonny. He said, but I don't want a thing to do with Michael, and I don't want nothing to do with Sonny. Tell them I got nothing to do with them anymore. I said, no problem. And Norby and I, we became friends. He was a really funny guy. We went out dancing one night. Norby was a great dancer. And me, Francesca, him and his wife, and two other couples. And when Francesca and I left, because it was a weekday and we had things to do the next day, I figured out my end of the bill was $100, so I gave Norby $100. Said, I'll see you. The next day, Norby calls me up. He said, "What's your address?" I said, "What do you need my address for?" He said, "I got to send you a check." I said, "Norby, what do you got to send me a check for?" He said, "You overpaid me last night." I said, "Norby, keep it." I said, "It can't be no big deal." "Oh, no, no. Give me your address." I gave him the address.
Yeah.
He sent me a check. This is how precise he was. $7. I think it was 41 cents.
Why would he do that? He sent you a
That's how
check
it
for
was.
$7?
Yeah. I said, holy fuck, I laughed my ass off when I got that check. Norby used to hold During the Grammys, he always held a big party at the Beverly Hills Hotel here uh, for all the entertainers and everybody. And, he was a good guy. I
Yeah,
got
he
nothing
was
bad
well
to say.
known.
Yeah.
I've been doing some research on him, and he was well known in the celebrity circle down there in LA. I got some pictures I'll show you guys of him at parties, and you said he would host the parties after the
Well, he
Emmys
hosted a party for the Grammys. Yeah.
or the Grammys.
Yeah. Every year.
So what he didn't like Michael, huh?
Well, what would you say if Michael was on the stand testifying against you?
I know what I would say. Rah rah, what's good, man? Shout out to you and your recovery, man. Congratulations on getting a coin.
How many
Joe
people
Blunt
we got
says
here, buddy?
we got 43 in the house right now.
Oh, how come I don't see him?
No, it'll keep going up. Everyone on here, make sure you go check out Stories with Ori on YouTube. I'll put a link in the description of this video. So I
Yeah, I
want to ask you
appreciate
a question, Ori.
Yeah.
So there was a video that popped up with a guy calling you, and he claims that you and him were cool back in the day. Like you guys were like mob associates or some shit. I don't know if you know, but he put the video on the internet of him calling you. I don't know what he would do that for, but this guy Tony Pizza.
I don't know who the fuck he is. All right, tell you the story that I know of Tony Pizza. He called me up maybe a year ago or something like that there. I don't know how the fuck he got my number. And it's like these guys got the same fucking story. They met me back at a club in New York and they remember me. And I was with Sonny. And look, I was in a million freaking places with Sonny. You think I remember everybody I met? It's impossible. You have no idea what a day with Sonny was like, and how many restaurants we would be in, and how many meetings we had in the course of a day. But, I try to be nice to people.
Yeah.
I didn't know this guy was a broken down homeless guy. And then all of a sudden he called me the other day, last week, whenever that was. I didn't know what the fuck he's calling me. And a lot of people detected. I didn't know who the frick it was. But once again, I was nice. I was trying to be as cordial as I could. But
Yeah.
honestly, I do not know him. And did I ever dream that he would put a telephone conversation on YouTube? I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's crazy. People will do anything for clout nowadays. They'll do
Yeah, and
anything.
I guarantee you, he said he watched my shows. I guarantee you the fucker never did.
Yeah, probably not. Tell him to tell you what the show is about then. Tell you a little bit about what the show.
Well,
Probably
if
can't do
anybody
that.
listens to that, they could detect. I just wanted to get off that call. But for all of you there, and I thank you who wrote in the comment section of it. You're hearing it here firsthand. I don't know that guy Tony Pizza or whatever he goes by, and I don't know where he lives. I don't want to know. And you can rest assured he'll never be able to call me again.
Well, that settles that. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Let's give some shout outs real quick. We got Rah Rah, Joey Blunts. What's going on, man? We got a lot of people in the house. We got 52. The Bronx, how you doing? Miles, what's good, man? Big Boy Blue, Everett, Mike Sulo, what's up, man? Full Green Light, Bruno, Rah Rah, Racked Up Rob, how you doing, man? Cajun and Brittany, how are you? I love the show down here in Louisiana. Shout out to Louisiana. Yaz, what's going on? Lewis, what's good, man? Thanks for joining us tonight. RV Docs, Jamie, how are you? Italian Stallion, what's good, man? Yeah, we got a lot of people in the house. J Dams, what's good, man? Pizza's a mental case, dog abuser. Yeah, he was on video hitting that dog. That was terrible shit, man. And I don't associate with people like that. You know, people with negative things in their life.
I didn't know he was a dog abuser. I would have fucking killed him for that.
Yeah, terrible shit. He's always got the cops on him and all kinds of shit. People always coming after him. I don't associate with people like that.
If he's got the cops there all the time, then he's got to be a real nut job.
But he's always moving around. He can't stay in one place because all these people are after him.
I can't understand why anybody be after him. Why would they waste their time?
Because he's abusing the dog, probably. They're trying to save the dog, man. You know?
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it's like, that's terrible. You don't hit a defenseless dog, and there's a video of it, man.
Hey, I want to ask you a question. Is there anybody here from Los Angeles? By any chance?
Anybody in the chat from Los Angeles? Hey, did you know this? This Gypsy Blanchard, her name is, I think. She's getting out of prison on Thursday, man. She's the one that had her boyfriend kill her mom. She's being released from prison on Thursday.
How many years she do?
I could check. I think around 12.
For killing her mother?
Yep.
What were the circumstances?
So her mother had that Munchausen syndrome, where she served 8 years in prison. So her mother had like Munchausen syndrome, where she would always make her daughter be sick, like, you know, make her be in a wheelchair, make her take medicine, made her get all these operations. She always like thought that she was sick, so she would like play the doctors for sympathy from other people. She would get donations, and eventually she started developing into a young woman. And she met this guy on the internet. She was hiding the phone or the laptop. She met this guy on the internet, and they linked up together, and she had the guy kill her mom. He stabbed her, and then they both took off together. They get caught. They both get arrested, and she throws the guy under the bus. She tells on him, tells the whole thing, and she says, "I never loved you anyway," to the guy. Straight threw him under the bus, man. So he's serving the rest of his life in prison for it. And that's that. Done deal. I love the context. I love the content, Staxx. Thank you, Everett. Appreciate it. Is anyone in here from LA? I don't think so. She looks like a psycho. Smash that like button. We got people from Australia in here. Pepperoni pizza face. Crimey TV. What's going on? So I got a video for you guys. A lot of these mafia rats, right? They get tangled up in their little web that they weave. Now check this video out. Looks like Dominic's stuck in his lies. Look, here comes Gene Barillo. A-Light's coming out next. There's A-Light. Here comes Mikey Scars. and the rest of them. They get caught up in their lies, man. Hey, once they get trapped, it's kind of hard to get out of the bullshit, huh? Don't be a mob rat. Stand on business, man. If you're a gangster, be a gangster till the end. Don't be a fucking mob rat. The one thing, the reason why I don't like these people and why I even do this show is because of the way they act. They are not reformed. They're not helping people. They're not, none of that. And they come on here and they lie and they bullshit. You know?
Yeah, Mike, I do think it's funny shit.
You gotta think this is some funny shit.
Like so.
Get one occasionally, but they get trapped. Stag bundles, baby, my man. So there's been a recent sighting, right? Of two of these mafia rats together, cohorting together. Now, if you were a changed man, right? Would you be cohorting with other mafia rats? Let's check it out. Hey, look, they're having a party together. We got Dum Dum, the donkey Dominic, with his over fucking size suit. And then you got the puppet master. I think Mikey Scars looks like he has a puppet up his ass. He looks like one of those guys from the from that fucking the Muppets, doesn't he? Like these guys are great. He said, this is what it's about in the holiday, being around good people, bunch of fucking mafia rats. And someone was in the comments talking shit. You got no right to talk about RJ and Scars. Yeah, I do. And guess what? I could talk about anybody I want. That's my right. And if you don't like it, start your own podcast. Like, I don't know what to tell you. But we're going to go over some of Mikey Scars' testimony. You going to stick around for this? It's pretty interesting. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
His testimony? Yeah, who did he rat on? I don't know much about him.
You're about to find out.
What year was that?
Hit the like button, subscribe.
Was that the Gambino?
Yeah, he testified. He was best friends with Jr. Gotti. He was best friends with him, right? You want to hear something funny? So RJ Rogers does a video the other day. He's got a box, right? He opens the box. There's a watch in the box. He's like, oh, Mikey Scars, you're one of my best friends. You gave me a watch. It's timeless.
Oh,
our
yeah, the guy that
our friendship.
The guy
our
that
friendship is timeless.
Bottle watch.
Yeah, he gave him a bottle watch. Our friendship is timeless. Did he give a watch to Junior Gotti too? How many of those 89 mobsters did he give a watch to? I just want to know.
What year did he inform? Was it around 2008, 2009?
I think so.
Oh, so that's when, because all the Gambino, there was 50-something of them that all got busted. Same time as we did with the Colombo family.
2002.
2002?
That's what it says. Mikey Scars gets repaid for informing. What? After his arrest in 2002, former Gambino captain began spilling secrets of his life inside the Mafia, implicating himself in 2 murders and a host of other crimes along the way. And he told on a lot of people. Let's get it started. Shout out to OC Shorts. Check out OC Shorts and subscribe.
Did you ask me
Mikey Scars TV and all that?
What?
Did you ask me to subscribe?
No, I'm telling the people that are watching.
Oh. Now, did
Yeah.
Mikey Scars, was he one of the informers against my friend Charlie Carneglia?
I think this was after that.
No, it had to be before, if you say 2002.
No, I think he informed. I'm not sure, man. They'll say it right now. They name off all the people he informed on. So let's check it out.
So became a government witness. His testimonies and the information that he provided put more mobsters behind bars than famous Mafia informant Sammy the Bull Gravano. Let's check it out.
Make sure you go subscribe to OC Shorts. Scars is a super rat, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Welcome to OC Shorts, bringing you detailed historical snapshots of the American Mafia and other organised crime. Feel free to subscribe if you like that sort of thing. Today, we're going to take a quick look at how Gambino crime family captain Mikey Scars de Leonardo was a more effective government witness than Sammy the Bull Gravano. This video is not a judgment on the actions of anyone mentioned. It is purely a historical account of what transpired.
But this video is a judgment on all his actions. Make sure you know that. This is a judgment on all his actions. Not that video, but this one is.
Gambino captain Michael de Leonardo was arrested on June the 20th, 2002 on various racketeering charges which included murder and extortion. He would eventually agree to become a government witness towards the end of that year. After nearly a decade of cooperation, he was due to be sentenced for his crimes on September the 9th, 2011.
A decade. He was informing for a decade. 10 years, man.
Let's review the government's official memorandum for Mikey Scars' sentencing, which included all of the trials that either de Leonardo's information or testimonies were used in, and the mobsters that were sentenced as a result. The legal document starts as follows. Preliminary statement. Michael de Leonardo's cooperation over the past 9 years has been nothing short of historic. Because of de Leonardo's cooperation, over 80 Mafia leaders, members and associates have been held accountable for their crimes. As discussed in more detail below, de Leonardo's cooperation has led to the indictment and conviction of mobsters of every rank. Over 24 Mafia leaders, bosses, acting bosses, administration members, consiglieri and captains, and many more soldiers and associates. Because of de Leonardo's cooperation, various defendants have been convicted of committing or conspiring to commit at least 13 different murders, as well as other crimes including extortion, assault, kidnapping, jury tampering, securities fraud, loan sharking, tax offences and gambling. The defendants charged as a result of de Leonardo's cooperation have repaid their victims and forfeited to the government over $30 million in criminal proceeds. De Leonardo has testified at 14 different trials, which is believed to have been more than any other cooperating witness in the history of organised crime prosecutions. Now, let's identify the criminals that were convicted as a result of Mikey Scars' cooperation. United States versus Peter Gotti and others. In December 2004, Michael de Leonardo testified at the trial of Gambino family boss Peter Gotti and Gambino soldier Thomas Carbonaro. Mikey Scars testified about Peter Gotti and Carbonaro's conspiracy to murder Salvatore Sammy the Bull Gravano. He also provided testimony on Carbonaro's involvement in the 1998 murder of Frank Heidel and Carbonaro's conspiracy to murder Edward Garofalo.
You put that message in the private chat, or you got to put it in the comments section where it says comments.
Where am I putting this?
In the private chat. You sent it to me.
Oh, fuck. How the fuck do I
The government document states...
Press comments.
They're asking me to go sign into my fucking YouTube.
Yeah, you don't need to do all that.
The jury convicted both defendants of racketeering, the Gravano murder conspiracy, and the construction industry extortion, and Carbonaro was convicted of the conspiracy to murder Heidel. Carbonaro was also convicted of conspiracy to murder Edward Garofalo, a Gambino family associate who was suspected of cooperating with the government.
I use StreamYard for this broadcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Karate, you're a bum, Staxx. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
Gotti was sentenced to 25 years imprisonment, and Carbonaro was sentenced to 70 years imprisonment. At the same trial, Mikey...
You gonna go suck off scars after this show, Joe? Joe, come to the front of the class, man. Raise your hand, Joe. Raise your hand. Raise your hand, man.
You know, I think Charlie Carneglia was one of the guys. Charlie's trial was the mere trial of John Gotti Jr. There was like 97 fucking informants against Charlie. Somebody asked me if I knew Charlie. Yes, I knew Charlie. Charlie writes me from prison right now to this day. I love Charlie. He's a great guy. I don't give a shit what they say about him. But Charlie and I'll tell you, I'll never forget the day that after the trial when they took Charlie out and they allowed me and him to talk in the hallway for a few moments. We just embraced each other and we cried. But I mean, I had a lot of great times in MDC with Charlie. Charlie was at our table, and we had a lot of Gambino guys. The boss of the Gambino family was at our table. The boss of the Colombo family was at our table. So we had a great, great table at MDC in Brooklyn. Great guys. We all helped each other.
Everyone sat at the same table.
Yeah, we sat at the same table. I can tell you something. We had Christmas dinners, Thanksgiving dinner, and boy, I'll tell you, they can cook. Oof, I'll tell you, some of the fucking meals you couldn't get on the outside that we had.
He's 77 years old.
Who, Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 2 years younger than me.
2 years younger than you?
I'm 79.
Hey, what about this mafia rat, Pelosi? Sal Pelosi.
Is he a rat too? Is he out here in California?
100%. 100%. He's one of the biggest rats out there. Yup.
He's out here in California, all right?
I'm not sure exactly where he is, but I know he's a fucking rat.
Did he just write a book?
I don't know. I don't follow him like that. I have no clue. But I know he's a fucking rat.
Yeah.
And he was involved with every single mafia, every single incident that happened in the mob. He was involved. He knows where Hoffa is. He was involved with Gotti. He was involved with this one, with that one, Roy DeMeo, all of them.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, according to him. It's pretty crazy, man. Here's a picture of Charlie.
Yeah, there's Charlie. Now, you see that beard Charlie's got?
Yeah.
Charlie grew that beard after John Gotti. Okay? Charlie was out of the life for 5 years. Really was out of the life.
What do you mean? On the street, he was out of the life?
Yeah, out of the life. Had nothing more to do with it for 5 years. But somehow, they wrangled him in on that indictment. There was 50-something Gambino guys. And because there were so many, I think the judge was Judge Winston, the oldest judge on the bench. And he made them all made the U.S. attorney get fucking deals out. Okay, plea deals to get rid of them in the courtroom. It would have been a big fucking courtroom. Charlie's the one who got the worst deal of it all. He got life plus 40. And I know Johnny A. Light was one of the informants.
He is one of the biggest scumbags out there, man.
Yeah.
He brags about like how big of a gangster he is, how tough he is. Telling on people doesn't make you tough, man. Like, they should all crawl back into their hole, man. All of them.
Well, you know, I gotta be honest with you. You know, all this YouTube shit is good, but it's really unfortunate that all the informants got the biggest fucking numbers.
No, that's changing, man. Joey Merlino threw a wrench in these rats' game. He really stirred up the pot. He's the Joey that stole Christmas. He's the Grinch for all these fucking guys. Merry fucking Christmas to you, rats. You got some competition, and he's blowing right past all of them. And they're mad about it. Let's check it out.
Fucking Major Mafia, Joey Merlino got something to say about me. Joey, you're 4'2". I see you in Tampa, I'll slap you around. Okay, you're the boss of 3 guys, the Philadelphia Mafia. If you actually be a member of your family, I'd rather be a Latin king. Okay?
To the door.
I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
You ruined it.
He fixes doors. He's a door fixer.
That was his girlfriend's door
Yeah, I guess
that he
so.
busted in, and he wants to be a fucking tough guy.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, there's another one here. Here's another one.
So I'm gonna fix it. I did this to the
Door.
door. So I'm gonna fix it. I pushed the door in. 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 I did this to the door. Yes, I pushed the door in.
And his car is on trial here.
Yours. So I'm gonna fix it. So I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna fix it.
So if I get charged for this,
You're not being charged. You're not being charged. You're not being charged. You're not being charged.
I'm suing you on taking word.
That's door number 5. There's only like 5 videos of him kicking doors in. But he only assaults women. It's pretty crazy. I don't know. He said if he ever sees Joey Merlino around down in Florida, he's gonna slap him around. He's gonna do whatever he wants. Like, he's going on other people's shows, threatening people. Anyone that platforms him, no good, man. I ain't fucking with you. It's all good. Earthworm Barillo. Let's check out more of this Mikey Scars thing and tell me if you know any of these guys.
Also provided information against several other defendants, including Gambino associate John Matera, who was connected with the Frank Heidel murder. Matera would receive 20 years after pleading guilty to racketeering and murder conspiracy. Gambino family soldier Edward Garofalo, cousin of the previously mentioned Edward Garofalo, was also convicted.
Hey, Reality Report. Go check out the Reality Report with Craig Gatto.
Garofalo pled guilty on the following charges, as stated in the memo. Conspiracy to murder Edward Garofalo, Garofalo's own cousin. Conspiracy to murder Gravano. And conspiracy to extort millions of dollars from the construction industry. Garofalo was sentenced to 360 months imprisonment. DeLeonardo's information at this trial also resulted in the conviction of Gambino family captain Louis Villario.
Now, how many watches did he give out to these guys? Did he give them all watches too? Because he loved all these guys, right? They were his brothers. What do you think of all this, Ori?
I think it's disgusting.
And then he's out during Christmas time celebrating with all his other rap buddies. And this
Received
is the type of shit.
156 months for conspiracy to murder Fred Weiss and other crimes. Also convicted on various racketeering charges was Gambino soldier Frank Fapiano. United States versus Richard Martino and others. Michael DeLeonardo also provided information for the government's prosecution of Gambino family mobsters and their involvement in a massive credit card telephone fraud scheme. Victims of this crime had their credit card numbers obtained by the mobsters, who then arranged to place fraudulent charges on monthly bills. The government estimated that tens of millions of dollars were netted by the criminals from thousands of victims. Salvatore Locascio, a Gambino captain, received a 30-month sentence. Andrew Campos, a Gambino captain, was sentenced to 21 months. Richard Martino, a Gambino soldier, was sentenced to 108 months. And Zef Mustafa, a Gambino associate,
108 months. What is that? 12 years, something like that. Isn't 90 months like 9 years or something, right?
Well, 9 years is 108 months.
108. Yeah, I think it's like 70, right?
Yeah, keep
90.
going with it. These sound like all the guys that got arrested at the same time we did.
Yeah.
was sentenced to 48 months. United States versus John A. Gotti and others. In 2005 and 2006, Mikey Scars testified in 3 trials involving John A. Gotti, the son of former boss John Gotti. In the first trial, the defendants were Michael Iannotti, a Gambino soldier, along with Louis Mariani, an associate, as well as former acting boss Junior Gotti. The government's memorandum states,
Of course, Andy.
The jury convicted Iannotti of racketeering conspiracy, which resulted in a sentence of 20 years imprisonment. Judge Scheindlin specifically found at sentencing that Iannotti had shot Curtis Sliwa during a 1992 attack, as DeLeonardo had testified. The jury convicted Mariani of racketeering and securities fraud, which resulted in a sentence of 78 months imprisonment. The jury acquitted Gotti of securities fraud and hung with respect of all other counts against him. In the following 2 trials against John A. Gotti in 2006, Mikey Scars testified about Gotti's involvement in the assault on Curtis Sliwa, construction industry extortion, and loan sharking.
And that was allegedly his best friend. Like they came up together. They got made together. Like they were best friends. So how can he do that and then live with himself, come on the internet and fucking hang out with all these other scumbags? I don't get it, man. Am I missing something here? Like, are they forming a coalition? What do you think, Ori?
The Rex?
Yeah.
They got a coalition. They got a fucking card they could pass on every fucking crime they've done. Okay?
That's insane. Bella, what's going on? Westies, what's going on? Thanks for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. Femme Fatale, what's up? Solar Marshall, what's up? Randy, what's good, man? Got Latin Butterfly in the house.
The juries were hung in both trials.
Oh, that sucks for you, huh, Dom? Scars. They're all the same to me. That sucks for you, huh, Scars? You fucking threw your friend under the bus and you couldn't get him convicted.
DeLeonardo also provided information against Gambino soldier Joseph D'Angelo with regards to various crimes, including the Edward Garofalo murder and the attack on Curtis Sliwa. Joseph Little Joey D'Angelo was also a cooperating witness for the government and had testified in other trials. United States versus Salvatore Scala and others. In 2007, Mikey Scars testified at the trial of Gambino captain Salvatore Scala and Gambino soldier Thomas Sassano.
Do you know any of these guys, Ori?
No, I don't.
Yeah, Gene's new name is Chief Suckum Two Cocks. Because he's part American Indian, we got to pay respect to him. Chief Suckum Two Cocks.
Scala and Sassano were charged with extorting a Manhattan strip club. Sal Scala was sentenced to 72 months, and Thomas Sassano received 63 months. United States versus Alphonse Persico and others. In 2006 and 2007, Mikey Scars testified against Colombo family acting boss Alphonse Little Alley Boy Persico.
I know you know him, Ori.
Yeah, yeah,
How about John Jackie DeRoss?
yeah.
And high-ranking Colombo mobster John Jackie DeRoss. Persico and DeRoss were being charged with their involvement in the 2001 attempted murder of Colombo soldier Joseph Campanella.
Did you know him? Joseph Campanella?
No, I didn't know him.
What about Wild Bill?
I never met Wild Bill.
How
But
about his
my-
son? How about his son, Whiny Bill?
Yeah, I met him, through social media. He lives in Arizona now. He seems like a nice enough guy. Wild Bill's murder was part of the indictment that I was on. That was the indictment with Tommy Gioli, Dino Saracino, Dino's cousin, who became a rat. Man, two guys became fucking rats we never dreamed would have. Okay? But even at trial, Tommy and Dino beat the fucking murder rat, and Joe Waverly, Joe Kashi. Okay? They beat the murder rat.
Even with the rats testifying, they beat the case.
With the rats testifying, saying they saw so-and-so, shoot so-and-so, bury so-and-so. They found Bill's, I'll never forget that fucking day. I'm locked up in MDC. I called my son. This was after we had a co-defendant meeting where we were all together, all of us, in the visiting room downstairs, all us co-defendants, we were together. And I'm calling my son, who's in California, and he says, Dad, they're taking, I gotta get their fucking names now. I have to look at my indictment. They're taking so-and-so out of prison, and they got helicopters over Farmingdale. Like, what the fuck? I said, no, I was just with them. No, Dad, they're taking him out of prison right now. The FBI walking. He turned rat. That's how I found out. It's crazy, man.
Crazy.
And
Crazy.
then, they found Bill's body, at that shopping center out in, it was Farmingdale, I believe. And they did, thank God we got severed from that part of the trial.
So they found his body while you were in prison. Were you thinking,
Yeah.
I'm screwed? Like, were you
Yeah.
thinking that?
Let me find the fucking indictment here. God damn it.
Find the indictment, Ori. We need it.
Dino Sabas. Dino was a great guy. Hang on. I go in my fucking book.
Here, let's take a word from our Donkey Dominic.
Evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another live.
Fuck off. We had enough of you.
Oh, man. The Department of Justice. Man, I just realized how fucking small the print is in my book on this one. Brooklyn, New York, a 17-count superseding indictment charging 12 defendants, including Thomas Gioli, the acting boss of the Colombo organized crime family of La Cosa Nostra, John Sonny Franzese, the underboss, members, associates. Okay. About the defendants. Where's all our fucking names over here? God damn.
I know, I was looking for it the other day. That's Tommy Shots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Tommy
out now.
Shots.
He ended up getting, I think it was 17 years on RICO. That's where they fuck you.
No excuses, but all he has is excuses. It's all I hear coming out of his fucking mouth. They were robbing my business. They were taking my money. When you took the oath, did you say, if they rob my business, I won't cooperate? If they take my business and my money, I'm not going to testify. Did he say that when he was taking the oath? No, he didn't. He said he would protect that oath over his own family. And he betrayed him because that's the kind of guy he is. You know, now you got all these trustworthy friends. So make sure you put your whole life on the line with him. I'm sure it'll work out for you. This is Tommy Shots.
That's Tommy, yeah. Tommy was funnier than hell, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, we were sitting right there at the fucking table one night when he had a stroke and they had to take him out.
And he ended up living all the way till now?
He ended up living. He's a diabetic. He had a stroke in prison. Okay, but he's a strong motherfucker. And going to his cell at night, and he'd have a can of Pringles because everybody's watching him. You can't eat candy, Tommy. You can't eat this. Everybody, I'm watching him. He's got a can of Pringles, but he's putting his hand in the fucking Pringle thing because he was allowed to eat Pringles.
But it was candy in the Pringles, right?
There was fucking candy. He's bringing it out. He's going, don't tell nobody, Ori. Hang on.
Funny.
I'm gonna go in my box and pull out my bag.
That's funny. Here, I'll keep playing this video. Unless you want me to wait for you. Yeah, it's for the kids, Salvatore. It's for the kids. No excuses. He should rename his show Full of Excuses. I don't know how these people can live at night. I really don't. I don't know how they even live with themselves. By my vodka, it made me with real piss and rat sweat. That's funny, man. Hope Ori's okay. He's fine.
As well as the 1999 disappearance of Colombo family acting underboss William Wild Bill Cutolo.
We'll get back to that. We'll wait for Ori because he probably has some information. I got another video I can show you guys. Let me just pull it up real quick. So there's some new videos of Scammy out there.
Who?
Scammy the Bull. Talking his regular
You end up doing
bullshit.
18 years.
17 years, 7 months, almost 18 years.
Almost
Yes, you're
18.
right.
Now, when you first go to prison, you think that the mafia is going to kill you.
On first time, yeah.
Yeah. And you were prepared for this.
The first time.
Yeah. So you become cool with some of the other gangs.
Sammy the Bum Bandit. Sammy the Bottom Bull.
The Aryan Brotherhood and the Mexican La Familia.
Let me correct something real quick. Sammy the Bull was not cool with the Aryan Brotherhood. He got a tattoo from a dropout from the Aryan Brotherhood that put the Aryan Brotherhood stamp on him. So, like, process that in your mind real quick. Sammy the Bull's in a WITSEC unit, and he gets the Aryan Brotherhood stamp on him. What the fuck?
Yeah, that
Staxx.
sounds a little fishy. Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Haven't seen him post any videos lately. Who knows? Maybe his past caught up with him. Who the fuck knows? Sammy in a storefront. He's having sleepovers in his storefront.
Bill
let's
Staxx,
check
I'm
out.
only doing this for you and your people. I'm going through my fucking box of all my court papers here.
I appreciate it, Ori.
I fucking hate this shit.
I know it's kind of like explaining how to upload a video to you on YouTube. Gets frustrating,
no, it's all
don't
this
it?
paperwork, man. And I tell you, tons of it. And you have no idea how much I threw out.
So if you guys don't know, I got an interview coming up on Friday that I'm dropping with a Peni. If you guys don't know who that is, a Peni skinhead from California prison. And I did an interview with him. I'm going to be dropping that on Friday. I haven't released it. It's been a while. So I'm going to drop the link right there in the chat if you guys want to check it out. If you guys want to donate to the show, you can hit up the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx. I appreciate every single dollar that comes through. I put the money into the show and we help the community. So if you want to help me, help them, help you, help me, you can hit up Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Super Stickers, Super Chat, Zelle, all that good stuff. What do you use that shit as a pillow, Ori, at night?
The indictment?
Yeah.
We had so many superseding indictments. It was fucking crazy.
You should see all the paperwork on the indictments from the Boston guys. Insane. Whole room full of shit. Whole room full of paperwork and videos and tapes and all kinds of shit. A lot of people don't know, but I'm working on a documentary from the Boston, about Boston. Shout out to Gigi. Shout out to Eddie and all my guys up there in Boston. Shout out to Anthony. From North End Stories. Go check out North End Stories too. He's got a great channel. I spent a lot of time up there in Boston. I had a lot of fun up there. What are you doing for New Year's Eve, Ori?
Same thing I do every year. I
What's
watch
that?
the ball go down in New York City and I go to bed.
What's you guys' plan for New Year's Eve? In the chat, what's you guys' plan this year for New Year's Eve? Is anyone going to Times Square? And if you are, keep your head on a swivel. That's what I keep hearing. I was thinking about going to New York City and checking out the vibe, but I don't know if I want to be caught in that sea of people, you know? Has anyone in the chat been to New York City during the times, during the ball getting dropped and all that? Big Boy Blue says, I'm going to the Hells Angels clubhouse. Latin Butterfly says, Mod 2 Memes was giving him sloppy toppies. What? David Smith, what's going on? Miles says, no, I wish. Joe Blunts, I hang out with my parents because they're getting old. And I watch The Honeymooners. That's cool, man. I remember one year when I was a young kid, right? I remember one year my stepfather made me go to a Whalers game with him. I wanted to go out with my friends. I was young. I was like 11 or something. And he made me go to this hockey game. And I was so pissed off because I wanted to go hang out with my friends. And, you know, back then I was like full force involved with the trouble and drama. You need a diaper if you go to the job, Johnny. Lose your spot. Yeah, everyone's sitting there watching the ball drop. Everyone's freezing, right? Usually it's raining out or something. And then ball drops, everyone's like, what do we do now? And everyone just leaves. And it's so crowded, you can't leave. So you just sit in the city until like early in the morning. New York, 1985, ball dropped on Sammy's chin. Oh, man. Sucks to be him. The ball's been dropping on Sammy's chin for quite a while. Quite a while.
Excuse me.
Huh?
You to suck my dick like I done before. Okay?
Uh-oh.
Paciello's a fucking rat too.
Who?
Paciello's a rat too, isn't he? Pacello. Chris Pacello. Everyone's like, he's such a gangster. He's such a gangster. He killed a woman, man. I can see New York skyline from my town. Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah, shout out to New Jersey too. A lot of good people out there in New Jersey.
Nicholas Bova, currently incarcerated on a New York charge. Colombo family associate Christopher Kawano, he was my co-defendant, currently incarcerated. According to the indictment, the Colombo, damn. Just got these fucking glasses today. Dino Calabro.
I've heard of
that
him.
was Dino Saraceno's cousin. He became an informant. Michael Frank Campanella, Frank Campion, Joey Case, Campitello, okay? They became informants, and they were two hitters.
And were they made men?
Yeah, they were both made men.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, they were both made men.
That's crazy. Chief
And you would
two
not
cops.
believe, I'll tell you something, there was nobody closer. You know, we were all always together, going to court on the bus. We all sat together. You know, we were always together in the same bullpen. They had us all together. There was nobody closer than Dino Saraceno, Dino Calabro, his cousin, and Campitello, Joey Case. Nobody closer until Joey Case and Dino Calabro became government informants.
Nick Scabetta was the guy's name. So when they testified, right, before they cooperated, were they locked up with you guys and then all of a sudden they're gone? Like,
Yep.
how did it transpire? Did you wake up one morning and you're like, oh shit? Like,
Well, I told you the story. My son was watching it on CNN News.
Yeah, but they took them all out at the same time, or did they take them out at separate times?
And my son said there's helicopters over the shopping center, Dad. That's how I first found out about it.
And what were the other guys saying? Because you were around them, right?
Next fucking day we knew. The next day we were all together and lacking those two guys.
And what were they saying? What was everyone saying to each other? Were they saying like we're screwed? Shit.
No, they didn't say that there. They weren't that happy. You could bet your ass on that. Okay. But, you know, when you're in prison, you only got one fucking thing to do. You got to fight your case and try to come out the fucking best you can. And, you know, that's what these guys did. And, you know, we had some good attorneys around us. Surprisingly, one of the best attorneys, Joe Carrazzo, was Dino's lawyer. He was great, and he helped us all out. You know who Joe Carrazzo is.
Yeah.
And but then something happened because he was representing somebody else that he couldn't represent Dino. They had to change Dino's lawyer.
There's
Tommy had a great lawyer,
interest, right?
huh?
Conflict of interest, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. I mean, one thing about us guys, I don't know how you were in your prison, but you know, we were together. We all studied the fucking law. We helped each other with motions, and you know, that's what we did.
Well, when I was in prison, I really didn't have co-defendants. I was by myself and trying to fight my case by myself. It wasn't like, you know, I didn't run around doing a bunch of shit with other people. Glitch, what's going on? Here, let's check out some more of this Scars thing.
At the first trial, the jury was hung. But at the second trial, Ali Boy Persico and Jackie DeRoss were acquitted of the attempted murder of Joseph Campanella.
Uncle Pete,
however, the pair were found guilty of murder in aid of racketeering with regards to the killing of William Cutolo. Both Persico and DeRoss received life imprisonment in 2009. United States versus Dominic Cerillo and others. DeLeonardo also provided information for a later trial involving powerful Genovese mobster Dominic Quiet Dom Cerillo. Cirillo pled guilty to racketeering conspiracy and received a 46-month sentence. United States versus Arnold Squitieri and others. In May 2006, Mikey Scars testified at the racketeering and extortion trial of Gambino captain Greg DePalma.
I knew Greg.
DePalma was sentenced to 151 months.
You knew Greg?
I knew Greg well.
How was he?
Greg was a great guy. He was a funny bastard. He tried to get me to go with the Gambinos. And he had a construction company out in Westchester County. And he arranged a meeting. I had to go into Connecticut and do something. And he arranged a meeting with Anthony McGalley and me. And, you know, Anthony was the boss in Connecticut. He gave me full permission to do anything I had to do.
Yeah, I heard that he talked a lot. He liked to talk a lot.
Oh, my God, did he talk? Oh, fuck. Did he talk? And I don't know how. Every time I fly into New York, he fucking knew it. And he's the first phone call I got.
Like right when you landed, right?
And he's telling me, you got to come out. You know, you got to come with my son. He's in a room. We could talk there. I said, Greg, I can't make it there. I can't make it there. Thank God I never went. Look at what the fuck happened. They had his son's room bugged up.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
he's got caught on a lot of tapes. I think one of them, what was it? Previty caught him on some tapes, I think, too. Didn't he?
Well, I'll tell you one, you know, when he got his button, he was excited. He went home and he called everybody on the fucking phone. All right, and his phone was tapped and told everybody he's a made man.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was Greg. But he made money, I'll tell you that much.
I mean, a lot of people do that. They really want the recognition, right?
Yeah,
Being a made man.
His son, I met his son, and his son was before his son went to prison, I knew him. Was a nice kid. You would never expect what he did.
What happened with his son?
Well, his son proffered, and then he didn't like himself for doing it. He tried to hang himself. But he lived, but he had brain damage. So he was in a coma.
Yeah. So he tried to testify against his own father or give information.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. That the days are really changing. And now you got these people who cooperated, who put other people in prison, coming on the internet, bragging about shit. Like, where do they do that at? If this was back in the day when Albert Anastasia was around, remember remember that story where he saw the guy saying that he told on someone else and he had him killed? Arnold Schwooster, I think his name was, or Schwarzenheimer or something.
Yeah.
These guys wouldn't last long.
What the fuck was his name? I know what you're talking about. The bank robber.
Yeah.
All right, how many people we got here? I'm going to read you guys something that you never fucking probably, because, you know, people who listen to podcasts, they don't read. Okay?
We got 90 people in the building.
So, folks, I'm going to read you something of how the WITSEC program began. And the name's going to pop out at you. You ain't going to fucking believe.
Let's hear it.
Okay? And this is from the book, WITSEC, Inside the Federal Witness Protection Program by Pete Early and Gerald Schur. All right, I'm going to read you the prologue. Gerald Schur thought he was going to vomit. The black and white photograph in front of him showed a woman splayed on a tile floor with her throat slit. Not satisfied to simply kill her, the murderer had mutilated her body by cutting her open from throat to navel. He then yanked out several of her internal organs, leaving them displayed on her abdomen. The woman had been an informant helping federal agents in a mob case, and in the gruesomeness of her murder had been meant as a crude warning. Those who spill their guts to the authorities risk having their own guts literally spilled out by the mafia. Sure, a young attorney in the U.S. Department of Justice organized crime and racketeering section in Washington, D.C., slid the photograph into a file folder and slipped it into his desk drawer. No need to have his secretary stumble upon it. The murder woman was the 25th government informant killed in the past 5 years. It was October 1961, and Schur was still new at his job. He hadn't yet become accustomed to the viciousness that gangsters could unleash. An excited Internal Revenue Service agent telephoned him later that day. "We got a promising lead," the agent declared. "How fast can you get here?" Schur caught the next flight to New York City. The IRS learned that John Sonny Franzese, a notorious member of the Colombo crime family, was extorting money from the owner of a trucking company. If the agents and Schur could convince the owner to testify against Franzese, the government would be able to put one of the city's most violent gangsters in prison. Two guys showed up in my business one day, the owner explained, after he welcomed Schur and the agents into his Long Island home. "These guys tell me Sonny Franzese wants to be my new business partner. I tell them, hey, I don't need a business partner. And they look at each other and laugh and say, oh, yeah, you do. I told him to get out of my office." The next morning, one of his new trucks wouldn't start. Someone had poured sand in the carburetor. Still, he continued to ignore Franzese until four men attacked him with baseball bats. The last thing he remembered before being knocked unconscious was one of them telling him that Sonny wanted to see him. A few weeks later, after he was released from the hospital, he signed over half of his business to the Mobster. What happened ain't right, he told Schur. You guys in the Justice Department should do something. If you testify, Schur explained, we can tie Franzese directly to extortion and send him to prison for a minimum of 5 to 10 years. Testify, the owner asked. Schur was taken back. Of course, we'll need you to tell a jury what he did. We can't make the case unless you testify. I thought just telling you would be enough, he replied. The mob would kill me and my entire family if I testify. No way am I speaking out against Sonny Franzese. I'd rather pull up stakes and move to Florida. Suppose we put him in jail right away. I mean tonight. What about tomorrow when he gets out? You don't really have a choice, Schur warned. Sonny Franzese is going to bleed your business to death. He'll destroy it and ruin your reputation. But nothing Schur or the agent said could sway him. During the car ride back to Manhattan, Schur fumed. There's got to be a way to get witnesses to testify against the mob. Would you? Asked one of the agents in the car. The question made him think. What if he had been the trucking company owner? What if his wife and his family had been the ones at risk? He thought about the photograph of the dead woman and the frozen look of terror on her face. What would happen? The government to do what would convince him to risk his life and the lives of his wife, his son, and his daughter to testify against the mob. And that was the beginning. This guy did not testify against Sonny, but this is the guy who began the WITSEC program.
Yeah, that Barbosa was the first person to be put in it, right? Was it Barbosa from Boston? And then he got machine gunned in
Let's see, exactly on August 9, 1995, a black helicopter swooped over the guard's tower at the Federal Correction Institute in Phoenix, Arizona, and hovered above the Mesa unit, a two-story concrete structure. The unit was an isolated prison inside a prison, surrounded by its own fence topped with razor wire. The same move carried by men wearing black jumpsuits burst out, each carried an automatic weapon, wore a black hood to conceal his identity. A sharpshooter in a helicopter flying overhead watched as the commanders hustled inside, ignoring the other inmates locked in their cell. The squad went directly to where a solitary federal prisoner was waiting. They ordered him to put on a bulletproof vest and hustled him outside. 4 cars were waiting for the APC after it had exited the prison. They raced alongside it towards a heavily guarded military field where Learjet stood ready, its engines already burning. The commandos formed a human shield around the inmate as he stepped from the APC and onto the jet. It lifted off seconds later. Its destination, a secret so well guarded that only 4 government officials knew where he was being taken. That inmate, now sitting comfortably in the jet, was a cold-blooded killer. By his own admission, he had committed 19 murders.
It's Sammy.
But the armed guards with him were not there to prevent him from killing again. They were protecting him from harm. Salvatore Gravano, better known as Sammy the Bull, reportedly had a $2 million price tag on his head.
I'm surprised they didn't get him. A lot of people wanted him dead.
Well, I guess they tried. It didn't work.
The first person in the witness protection program was Barbosa, although in history of government informants, the predictability froggy Barbosa is widely called the first person in American history to go into the witness protection program. Despite the danger, Barbosa loved the fame that came with being a mob celebrity, and he was eager to keep testifying at mafia trials, but he was murdered in San Francisco by machine gun. They didn't fuck around back then, but now times are changing. Now you can testify against your friends.
And go home to your neighborhood in Brooklyn.
Go home to your neighborhood, start a YouTube channel, and everyone loves you.
Yep.
Until they see the truth on what's really going on with these guys. Because I think it's a bunch of bullshit, man. All of it. I think these guys are all scumbag trash, and they deserve whatever they have coming. They have something coming.
Excuse me.
Because they're full of shit.
Well, look, I hope that I helped to provide some good information to you folks this evening. I want to thank Bill for having me here.
Definitely.
And
welcome here anytime, Ori.
What I give you folks is good, right, the truth, and informative information. And I don't like rats. And I don't talk bad about nobody. And I'm going to keep that method with me until the day I die.
Don't worry, I'll talk bad about him. It's okay. I'll talk bad about him.
Bill could do the talking bad, and I'll just give you the ammunition and where to go. I listen. There's people. Talk about rats. Let's set aside the rats, and let's go with these people that call themselves mob historians. They actually infuriate me more than mob rats. Because at least the mob rats know a little bit about the fucking life.
Yeah.
Okay? But these fucking mob historians who don't know what the inside of a fucking jail looks like, who read books, who read court documents, and who write fucking books.
Yeah, they just read court documents and they take it as truth.
I heard two guys talking about the Buffalo mob. Now, I'm not going to give the names. You guys can figure it out. They were talking with paper assholes. Every fucking they said was not true. Everything. Now, you think that Ori Spado does not know about the Buffalo mob? When the underboss out here was Jimmy Kashi, who was from Buffalo, who grew up with Joe Todaro, the boss of Buffalo, who did work for Russell Buffalino back there in the days. You know how many times I've been to Buffalo, New York? You know how many times I've been to La Nova Pizza?
Aren't you from up there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and these guys are talking about Joe Todaro, Magadino, who I met at a fucking wedding years ago, okay? They're talking about these fucking guys. They don't know shit. They're talking about fucking court documents, newspaper articles. Nothing to fucking truth. Nothing. But they call themselves mob historians, and they irritate the shit out of me.
I mean, everyone's trying to, earn a spot around here. There's Joe Todaro Jr. and Joe Todaro Sr.
Yeah, and there's another Joe Todaro Jr. got a son, Joe Todaro. Also, there's three of them. And I can tell you what, they're all great fucking people. Joe has passed away.
Yeah, the older senior is, right?
Senior passed away. Jimmy Kachi passed away. Ounce per
Or
ounce. Ounce per ounce. There was not a fucking guy out in New York. All right, as tough as Jimmy Kashi.
Gerbo
Hi,
says,
Gerbo. Did
Ori,
my
my
dad
dad
used- Huh?
used to say, talk like a man with a paper asshole.
Yeah.
And
But those-
Marlon, you're wrong, buddy. The difference is former drug addict usually changed and do not. Other, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
I don't know what they're doing. What are they saying there?
I don't know. They're talking amongst each other. Ask Ori about Frank the Wolf.
Frank the Wolf and Butchie from Buffalo.
You know them?
Frank. Butchie, I knew, yeah.
I've been in Buffalo.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been to Rochester, New York. Shout out to Chad Marks. I've never been around that area of the country. Before that, I've only been to Niagara Falls. I went to Niagara Falls and I went to the part over the border where the casino is with the restaurant and shit. Yeah, I've been there. I went to Ripley's Believe It or Not. Believe It or Not. I've been there in 2001 I went there. But I was just in Buffalo probably 6 months ago. When's the last time you were there, Ori?
Oh, fucking been. When Charlie Kashi passed away, he went by the name of Bobby Milano. He was a singer. They lived in Palm Springs. He was married to Keely Smith, who was Jimmy Kashi's brother. And before he died, I made a promise. He was laying on his bed in the desert, and he was worried about his brother Jimmy. And I said, Charlie, don't worry about Jimmy. I will take care of Jimmy. I will watch him. Don't worry. And he grabbed my hand with both his hands. He said, Ori, you promise? Because your word is the best in the world. And I said, this was on a Saturday morning, folks. I said, Charlie, I promise. I will always take care of your brother. And I said goodbye. On Sunday, I flew to New York. Monday morning, Jimmy Kashi called me. His brother, Charlie, passed away.
Damn.
And they were having a one-day service in the desert for him and then moving the body to Buffalo. I rented a car. I drove from New York City to Buffalo. I was with Jimmy morning, noon, and night. Our mornings always began by going to Joe's Pizza place, having coffee, pizza, and then the wake in the afternoon, the wake in the evening. I was there every time, every day. And I watched Jimmy and I took care of Jimmy until I got arrested. And when I got arrested and I was in prison, I was calling Jimmy. And I'll never forget. My last call was after Christmas time. I called him. He answered. He just got home from the hospital. He was mumbling. He was telling me how he was driving and he hit the back of a garbage truck.
What did he have health problems?
Yeah. Jimmy had he had a pacemaker, this and that, and he was mumbling. I said, Jimmy, I'm gonna hang up. I want you to make one call. I want you to call Betty. You gotta get back in the Eisenhower Hospital right now. Jimmy, please do me that favor. He says, I will. And he called Betty. Betty got him, brought him back to the hospital, and Jimmy died in the hospital. Of course, nobody could call me. And I kept calling Jimmy's house and the message machine. I kept leaving messages. 1 week would go by, 2 weeks went by, 3 weeks went by. I knew that Jimmy had died. I just knew it in my head. But finally, I got a letter from his sister in Buffalo because they were at Jimmy's house. They got all my messages, but obviously they couldn't call me. But she figured out how to write me, and she wrote me. And with her phone number, I put her on my list. And she told me that Jimmy had passed away. I'm going to tell you something. And you guys here, I don't give a shit what anybody says. Jimmy was a real fucking man. Okay, real man. I was closer with Jimmy than I ever was with Sonny. Okay, and I knew Sonny for 50 fucking years.
Ori, what do you think of this homeless guy, Pizza, that claims to be a gangster? He says he was on an indictment with you. Wait, what?
What fucking indictment? You know how many indictments I've had in my lifetime? And his name hasn't been on one of them.
Well, there you have it, folks. There you have it, Dave. You got your
You
answer.
guys are corresponding with him.
I don't know.
What's this guy?
Any chance you knew my
Blaze,
Uncle
Uncle Blaze, last name. Was from Buffalo. Moved to LA when LA and Buffalo joined forces. Long time ago. Blaze. The name sounds familiar, my friend. I knew Stevie Sino, you know, he was our guy in Vegas.
I love how Ori yells at the screen. Sean says, I love seeing Ori yell at the screen. On one of the videos we did, you're like, Bill, when I see you, I'm going to fucking beat the shit out of you. It was funny. It started like that.
Yeah. Bill, this was fun. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
And thank everybody. You know, I'm going to say good night to you all. All my love and respect to you. And have Blaze Caruso. Yes. Caruso, I know that name. Yep. Thank you, Dirty Harry. A great name. I just watched that movie again, Dirty Harry.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Have a happy new year, okay? God bless you all. Thank you for joining us. And please do me a favor. All right? It's not a big one. I'm not asking for money. Just go to my Stories with Ori and please subscribe to my channel. Help me out here. Thank you. God bless you all. Take care.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
subscribe to him and give me the money. All right? So
All
subscribe
right.
to him and give me the money. Thanks, Ori. I'll give you a call.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
no problem, man. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I think it was a pretty good show. If you guys like this content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. And don't be a fucking mob rat. And if you don't like this video, start your own podcast. I appreciate all you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Big thing coming. And remember, don't be a bitch.